Hi, the Living Dinosaur. We meet again. There's something I will admit in these videos. I'm not professional in making these videos, but if I see an error in your videos, if you're supporting the religious dogmatic false religion of evolution, I'm going to correct it, whether you like it or not. I don't care if you have big fancy words. Oh, ever, life of embarrassment. Are you this? Are you that? I don't care if you have dazzling pictures in your videos and such. It just distracts a lot of people from concentrating on really what the truth is. And I have to say, the curriculum, the Living Dinosaur of which you represent, of which you're a part of, is corrupt. I'd like to address another thing. That icon in your picture, you call yourself the Living Dinosaur, but that's not a living dinosaur, that's a bird, a perching bird. For those of you who don't know, there are quite a bit of differences between a dinosaur and a bird. But which is it, by the way? Did dinosaurs go extinct, or did dinosaurs turn to birds? If you're really upset with people like me, if you're really bothered by people like me, well, why don't you go to North Korea? You don't have to worry about Christians there. Hey, the Living Dinosaur. I've got a question for you. Why is it that dinosaur bones and human bones have been found together in the same rock strata? By the way, did you know that no human bone and no chicken bone has ever been found together in the same rock strata? So we must conclude that humans and chickens never lived together. Silly. Why is it that seashells have been found on top of mountains like Mount Everest? Now, I don't believe that the flood water was over Mount Everest. I think Mount Everest was under the water. You know, the last parts of the flood, the mountains rose, the valley sank down, and the water rushed off. Why is that these seashells on top of these mountains, if the evolution theory is true? Why is that the human genome research has actually found out that all supposed races are actually of one race? There are no races of people, there are people groups. I like to even show this Creation magazine that there were these twin girls that were black and white. That's right. All people are related. Why is it that many dictators throughout history use the evolution theory to fuel their eugenics movement to wipe out supposed inferior races? Why? Just questions. Why is it that Ernst Haeckel admitted to lying? He was convicted of fraud when he admitted to faking the drawings of these embryos. And with the supposed evolution of man, why is it that Nebraska man, all they found for Nebraska man was just one tooth that was later found out to belong to an extinct pig? Why was it that Piltdown man was actually a human skull cap and an ape's jawbone filed down to make them fit together to fool all the experts? It was in the textbooks for over 40 years, and yet it was a fraud. Why is it that Neanderthal man was discovered to be nothing more than an old man with arthritis? The Neanderthals are nothing but perfectly normal human people living to be 300 or 400 years old because a dentist found out that the bones of your face never stop growing. You never notice it to be 70, 80, or 90, or 100 years old, but the bones of your eyebrow ridge start to stick out. So the Neanderthals were perfectly normal people who lived to be over 300 and 400 years old, which actually proves the Bible. Why is it that Lucy was discovered only to be nothing but a chimpanzee, and why did they put human feet on Lucy when not one foot bone was found? Why is it that they're actually discovering now that the difference between apes and humans is much bigger than they thought it was? They supposedly say 95%, even if that's true, that's a gap of 48 million nucleotides and only a change of 3. 3 nucleotides is fatal to an animal. Why is it that life can't evolve with or without oxygen? I mean, the Miller and Urey experiment was proven to be a fraud when they filtered out amino acids, and all they made was just mostly tar and all these things that are mostly harmful to life. Why is it that the lower rib is the only bone in the human body that can grow back if you take it out? Why is it that human and dinosaur footprints have been found together in the same rock strata? They're walking alongside each other. Why is it that so many giant human skeletons have been found, which actually confirms the verse in the Bible in Genesis 6:4, there were giants in the earth in those days? Why are there petrified trees found even upside down connecting all these many different rock layers? That just shows that those rock layers aren't millions of years old and they formed at the same time together. Why is that there are a lot of bent rock layers all over the Earth's surface? As both you and I know, rock does not bend very good. But that just confirms that they were still furling and unfurling while they were still soft, which fits in perfectly well with the biblical flood. You're saying, oh, well, because it was a molten earth, all these layers were able to bend and rock because they were still not solid yet. Well, sedimentary rock is not volcanic. Why is it that human artifacts have been found in rock supposed to be millions of years old? You know, it's just for the fact that you ought to question the geologic time scale, which was just made up out of the clear blue sky, and that the fact it's not millions of years old. You ought to question the geologic column. Why is it that Darwin is considered a great scientist when he only ever got a theology degree? Why is it that a lot of explorers have gone into the Congo in Africa, and even into the Amazon, and many other secluded places of lakes in the world, especially in northern Japan, have reported live dinosaurs swimming in these lakes, in these rivers, in these many secluded areas? I mean, they often ask the question, how did the dinosaurs go extinct? That's the wrong question. The real question is, did they go extinct? Why is that the whale has not been proven to have a vestigial pelvis when those bones are used for reproduction? Why is it that it's been proven that humans do not have a vestigial tailbone? There are 9 little muscles which connect to that tailbone, and that tailbone is often used for balance, especially when you're sitting down. Why has it also been proven that your appendix is not even vestigial? You can live without your appendix, but you're going to have a higher chance of quite a few diseases. And the fact that you can live without something, I mean, you can live without both your arms and both your legs and both your eyes, but it doesn't prove you don't need it. And the fact that you can live without something proves the amazing design of your body. How many parts on a car have to be right in order to make it work? All of them together. I mean, one loose screw can scatter it all over the highway. But the fact that you can live without something from your body, that's amazing design. That's amazing revelation. Amazing credit goes to God and glory for Him. Why is it that radiopolonium halos have actually been found that prove the Earth was never a hot molten mess? Why? Just questions. Why is it that there have been vegetarian lions and vegetarian sharks and vegetarian bears discovered all over the place? You're trying to say, because they're mutated, because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Well, perhaps it's a throwback to the original creation where everything lived in harmony and everything was vegetarian. There is evidence that lions have been vegetarian, that bears have eaten grass. Kent Hovind had a friend who said he saw his bears eat grass in his front yard for over 2 hours. Why are there erosion marks in places that hardly ever rain on this earth? I mean, that is evidence of great flooding on this planet. Why is it they say the Sahara Desert is no more than 4,000 years old, which fits perfectly well into the biblical timescale? If the Earth is millions of years old, why don't we have a bigger desert someplace? Why does the Big Bang contradict science? Big bangs make big messes. If the Big Bang Theory were true, the matter would be evenly distributed throughout the universe, and it's not. Why is it that evolution does not explain morality, right and wrong? See, often people are borrowing from the biblical worldview if something is right or wrong. Evolution has no foundation. You know, man sets the rules, which leads to all sorts of immorality or moral relativism. Why is it that evolution has not given us any advancement in science whatsoever? Can you name me one advancement in science we've had because of the evolution theory? There's nothing. It is useless. Just for the fact that I want to tell you that most branches of science were created by biblical creationists. So no, the Bible has given credit to a lot of scientific advancement. Did you know the word science appears twice in the Bible? Nebuchadnezzar took for himself young men who were cunning in knowledge and understanding science. Paul said, Timothy, be careful of science that is falsely so called. Evolution is not part of science, and that's the point we're trying to get across to you. Why is it that they're still discovering water under the crust of the earth? I mean, there's no other explanation other for the fact that that's just leftover water from when the fountains of the deep broke open, and most of that water is now in the oceans. Why is it that there are flood legends from cultures all over the world which haven't even heard of the Bible? Why? Just questions. Why is there evidence that petrification does not take long? It doesn't take millions of years. A petrified hat was once found. Why is there evidence that coal and oil are able to be formed quickly? Just another fact that it doesn't take millions of years. That's 100 years worth, especially the cave formations. The guide says, don't touch the formations, they took millions of years to form. No, there are stalactites under the Lincoln Memorial. There were coal mines that were shut down for 55 years, and when they opened them up, there were huge cave formations just in 55 years. Why is that the moon's distance from the Earth does not fit in well with the Big Bang Theory or the evolution worldview? The moon moves farther from the Earth every single year, about 3 inches a year. You'll calculate that just about 1.2 billion years ago, it was touching the Earth. So that explains what happened to the tall dinosaurs. Why is that the Earth's magnetic field is declining, and there's no fact that it has reversed, and only fits in with a scale that it can't be older than 25,000 years? I mean, it becomes so powerful in the past that it's too powerful for life to exist. Why is it that dinosaur and blood tissue has been found that is not even fossilized yet, or not even gone away or decayed yet? It's not 65 million years old. I mean, if you want to believe that, sure, go ahead, but still, you're right. You dab your videos, you title them Holy Hallucinations. Come to think of it, I've never had a hallucination in my life. Why is that there isn't anything scientific about the evolution theory? Why is it that you are defending a theory that says we came from a rock? I like to ask, well, why don't we see evolution happening? Well, you try to say, well, that's because it happened slowly, millions of years. Okay, why do we see that in the fossil record? Well, you say, oh, well, evolution happened quickly. You just contradicted yourself. See, the fact is, I don't need an answer from you for all these questions. These are the questions that don't need an answer. These questions are actually designed to change someone's attitude. And I feel that you, the living dinosaur, have an attitude, and I just don't appreciate it. You can say, you're a fool, prepare for a life of embarrassment. Okay, you're free to believe whatever you want. You can mock me all you want, but you gotta understand that you're in the minority, and your worldview is contradicting the clear scientific evidence. And you're calling Jesus a liar. And all you atheists can say is, nah, neither, you're so stupid, you just make fun of us all you want, and that never makes you right. Swearing doesn't make you right. Well, you think you won the argument by doing that? No, it's not funny, and it never was funny. Hey, did you know that Einstein's heroes were Michael Faraday, Isaac Newton, and James Clerk Maxwell, who were all biblical creationists? Just thought I'd throw that out there. With all this said, the living dinosaur, you might even say, oh, what about contradictions in the Bible? Well, there aren't any. Just watch this video here. Let me set the record straight. The Bible has addressed the essence of all issues. Whenever we've had a question, it's always had an answer. You and I are made in the image of God, and we are wired for love. God proves his existence to you all the time, the living dinosaur, and you just run away from him and hang out with a bunch of drunk idiots. Well, I don't want friends like that. Some people just don't understand how awesome God is. The sun is 93 million miles from Earth, and we can feel its warmth. We are spinning around at 1,000 miles per hour. We're hurtling through space around the sun at 66,000 miles per hour, and we're just sitting here. And yet we go to Disneyland and we ride in the spinning cups and we can throw up. Just everything about God, science, research, everything about his glory in the Bible never fails to dazzle or amaze me. Science and the medical field are finally catching up with the Bible. Again, if evolution is true, if you keep talking about evolution and Darwin, I'm sorry, you're defending a man, Darwin, who said, a married man is a poor slave, worse than a Negro. If a professor said that in your local university today, how long would he keep his job? Or his life? See, I really feel that if God didn't make monkeys and apes, fallen man would have still looked for some sort of animal to label as its ancient ancestor. See, evolution is a religion, and you're always trying to prove religion wrong, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to prove religion wrong. I will come out and say, yes, I am a big fan of Ken Hovind. Back in the past, when people tried to say, oh, he's stupid, he's wrong, he's not an educated science teacher, I vulnerably kind of bought into it and naively said, well, okay. But the more I've researched, the more I've studied, the more I've searched it up for myself, I keep on finding that this man was right all along. Hey, if Ken Hovind reveals the real other stupidity of the religious dogmatic unscientific theory of evolution, well, tough. And he's being released pretty soon. Well, you ought to deal with it. Hey, you guys, you're missing out. This world will be restored to the way it will be when the new heavens and the new earth will be created. Everything will be vegetarian. Everything will live in harmony together. There will be no more death, no more suffering, no more sickness, no more pain, no more any of those horrid things. Everything will be restored back to Garden of Eden conditions. Perhaps a new canopy of water. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the new 1,000-year reign of Christ. But I'm sure it will be somewhat like the Garden of Eden conditions. We might even get to have our own pet dinosaurs. I encounter a lot of children who like dinosaurs, and I say, hey, you wish you could have ridden one? And they say, yeah. Hey, let me tell you how you can get one. I mean, the Bible's not just about dinosaurs. Jesus would call them correctly dragons. And I want to say again, the living dinosaur, you can't compare gravity and evolution. It's just utter silliness, and you're comparing apples and oranges. You're just trying to knock down some scientific foundation of gravity, so you're trying to make your religion look more relevant. No, it doesn't work that way. See, if you have a theory, but if the facts don't square with your theory, throw your theory away. People would have thrown out evolution a long time ago, except they don't have a replacement other than, maybe creation. I'm telling you, there's loads of evidence, there's truckloads of evidence that people aren't being shown in liberal biased classrooms of pro-New World Order schools. And you have loads of questions, loads of fallacies, loads of accusations that Ken Hovind, I might say, has already answered in the rest of his seminars, which I'm betting you haven't even seen yet. Especially his questions and answers one is a good one to get started. And I want to take a moment and thank everyone for all the love and support you have given me. And to any of my subscribers, I want to say thank you to all of you. And I hope everyone has a great new week. He died for your sins. If you believe Jesus and believe that he has risen from the dead and turned from your sins, God can give you the hope of eternal life. All of your problems won't go away, but he will carry your burdens for you. He'll give you a brand new life. So that's all I got to say for this video. Peace out, keep thinking, Jesus bless you, and TDFN, ciao for now.